Hi, this is Deep Karaman. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video. I've been receiving a lot of tweets questioning first of all, the accuracy of the data and then the source of the data, if the data even exists at all. So I wanted to do this quick video. The link that we originally sent you to, there's quite a bit of information there and a lot of people couldn't find the data that we pointed to, those numbers. So I'm going to show you exactly where to go and make it real easy for you to check our numbers. Originally, we put in the White House Office of Management. Actually, the exact name is White House Office of Management and Budget. But there's quite a few, and I'll show you. Once you go there, it's quite a big website, and there's a lot of information. But what you really want to go to are two places. First, you want to go to historical tables. And when you go to historical tables, you want to load the summary of receipts and outlays. That's one of the tables that we downloaded and use in our dashboard. And the other one that we downloaded, and by the way, that's the one the Washington Post also used. We can tell by the numbers because they're identical to our numbers when you work the percentages. And also the supplemental materials. And when you go to supplemental materials, you want to scroll down and you want to go to something called Public Budget Database. And then you want to download the outlays and you want to download the receipts. And here's what you'll see. And I've downloaded them. And for those of you who don't have Excel, because these are Excel sheets, I also posted them to Google Docs, and I will leave the links in the description of this YouTube video so you can see them yourself if you don't have Excel. But if you do have Excel, you can download them and get them straight from the White House. Okay. Let's take a look at receipts first. I want to make sure that you see that we have all of the categories are exactly what we have in our dashboard under receipts and under categories. So if you're looking at Social Security insurance or you're looking at individual income tax, you will see under receipts you have individual income tax, you have Social Security tax insurance, and it takes you, if you look at the spreadsheet, so let's walk through it. It takes you year by year, and when we put projection numbers, when we put numbers for 2016 and 2015, we're not making these numbers up. These are the numbers that we downloaded, and this is the place you can find them. Let's take a look at outlays. And if you look at outlays, it's similar. So you got Department of State, Department of Treasury. If you sum up all the outlays for the Department of Treasury, and again, they go year by year, exactly line item by line item where that money is spent. And if you look at our outlays, you can see these are the departments. We call them the same thing they call them. We use the same terminology, receipts and outlays, so there's no confusion. You can go to our site, you can go to their site, you can look at the numbers. That's where the numbers are from. And the third one is probably the most useful, and that's year by year. They just sum up the receipts and outlays, and then they talk about the deficit. You know what got people upset was my comment about cutting taxes and does that raise more revenues. It was really Ronald Reagan who put this idea forward and made it popular, at least in my lifetime. And what he said was, hey, if we cut taxes, we'll stimulate the economy. And if we stimulate the economy, that'll generate more taxes. And people thought it was crazy. So if you look, in 1979, when Jimmy Carter was president, we made $463 billion. Ronald Reagan became president. And, by the way, his deficits were fairly large deficits. We're not talking about how much the government spends. We're talking about how much the government takes in. And you can see, by the time he left office, 1988, it was $909 billion. In 89, it went to 991, then $1 trillion. So really, if you look at it, he almost doubled the amount of revenue that we took in by cutting taxes. That was my statement. Now you can make the argument that there were other reasons why we almost doubled revenue other than cutting taxes. That's fine. But you can't deny the fact that by the time Ronald Reagan left, we were actually bringing in more revenue, almost double the revenue than when he started. And that's what I said, and this data proves it. And again, I'm not looking at my dashboard. I'm looking at the White House spreadsheet that you can download yourself. Also, the statement that I made was that Bush had the record for revenues. He brought in more money than any other president. And as you know, Bush also cut taxes. So if you look, these are the receipts, again, from the spreadsheet that I downloaded. I haven't touched this spreadsheet. There's no manipulation here. These are the numbers. And if you look at 2007, it is $2.5 trillion. 2006 was 2.4. 2008 was 2.5. So his last 3 years in office, right? His last 3 years, not when he cut taxes, but later, after those tax cuts had the opportunity to give stimulus to the economy. The numbers are right there. I don't know what more I can do. I showed you exactly where I got them. I showed you exactly where you can find them. If you have issues with them or if I'm not being clear enough, please feel free to contact me. I thank you for watching and take good care.